Hi, this is Ed with The Village Well, coming to you with another great set of parenting tips to make your parenting life have more calm, meaning, connection, and joy. A lot of the work I do with parents is about preparing for difficult situations. It is always better if we can predict when the difficulty is coming and practice and prepare for those moments. For an example, see our video about scripts and role play to do that practice. However, there are going to be times when you just ain't ready. When your kid is showing some behavior that triggers you and you find yourself stuck in this battle between bursting out and getting aggressive and threatening and punishing and screaming the things that you are trying to control versus being strong, authoritative, and present with your kid. When you find yourself in those moments, I have some quick tips that can help you stay calm and recover quickly. All right. So tip number 1 is to recognize the shifts in your body. And so we all have tells or things that indicate that we're going to flip our lid. So for me, my ears get hot. My heart starts beating fast and I can feel it, and my face starts to clench. If I can recognize that that's happening, I know that I am being overtaken by a fight instinct. My kid is actually not a threat, so I don't want to fight with them. But if I can recognize it, then I can take steps to manage it, right? And so learn those cues and recognize it when they come along. What are those cues for you? The second piece is to stop and breathe. And so I literally put my hand on my heart and I take 3 deep breaths. This is also a signal to my kids that I'm working to control myself and elevates the seriousness of the situation for them. There's a reason why breathing works. When we are in our fight, flight, or amygdala sympathetic nervous system, our breath naturally, instinctively starts to get shallow and quick to bring more oxygen into our bodies to prepare us to fight that bear. When we take deep breaths, it hijacks that instinct, and the lizard brain says, wait a minute, she's breathing deeply. Maybe we're not in a crisis. Maybe we don't need to fight. And that's why you hear so many people talk about taking those deep breaths. Do it and take it seriously. Third step is that it's good to have an affirmation that is ready that you can use in the moment. My most basic one is, this is not an emergency. If I can recognize that being late to school again is not an actual emergency, if I can recognize that my kid refusing to put the iPad away or ignoring my instructions to come to dinner is not an actual emergency, then I can keep calm and respond rather than react to that situation, right? And so mine is, this is not an emergency. I know other folks who say, choose love, reminding themselves to respond in a loving, still firm, still holding boundaries way with their kids. It could be, I got this. It could be, I'm in control. Whatever that thing is, it's an affirmation that reminds you that you can move through this situation with calm and cool and control. The final thing that I need to do, say something to my kids that establishes my authority, but also allows me to take space. And so what is likely to happen if I don't do that is I'm going to get into a power struggle. I'm going to get into a screaming match with my kids because you didn't listen to me. And so I'm reestablishing my dominance, my authority, my control over the situation, right? Which isn't what I want to do. But I find if I just take space, I will feel like I've lost control over the situation and then have a different kind of triggered reaction. And so I find a way to communicate with my kids that I am still in control, I am in control of me, and I am making a choice to have some cool off time. So, for example, hey, it's not okay for you to talk to me. We will discuss that later. I am going to take a little break. Or, you didn't listen to the direction I gave you. That's not okay. We're going to get to that in a second, right? Whatever that thing is that buys you some time, but establishes that you are still in control of the situation and the seriousness of the situation for your kids. All of this is helpful to buy you just 5 seconds of time. I call all of these in summary the 5-second pause, because what I have found consistently in my own life and in coaching hundreds of parents and many teachers, youth development workers, etc., is that when we feel triggered, we want to immediately act. And that's the worst thing to do in a situation, because then we will be reacting rather than responding thoughtfully. If we can hold 5 seconds, then we can access all of the tools, all of the experience, all of the wisdom that we have accumulated. But if you can't pause for 5 seconds, you're going to react from an instinctive, triggered, fight, flight, freeze, fawn place, and it's not going to go well, right? And so holding that 5 seconds allows me to take some space to access the tool that I want to use in this situation, and ultimately to come in with a plan, with some experience in a way that I will be able to connect with my kid, that I will have a strategy for the situation, that I will be able to understand and empathize with my kids' real needs, but also I will be holding the boundary and the issue at hand. I get that you're watching TV and that's really interesting, and you probably couldn't hear me. However, it's time to transition to dinner. So we're going to turn the TV off together, and then we're going to walk to the table. I'm going to do that in 3, 2, 1. Tools, strategy, which I'm implementing because I'm calm. My kid is much more likely to go along with me. And if they don't, I am still calm and grounded in the situation. And so these are all things to apply when we feel triggered in the moment. Once again, recognize the shift, stop and breathe, use an affirmation, and deliver a phrase with authority that also allows you to take some space. When you find yourself in a triggered situation, try to apply these and reach out in comments and let me know how it goes. Take care and happy parenting.